are very heat sensitive that they are destroyed during the dehydration process. Okay. Also, if I may add, there is also a loss of nutrients during dehydration. Because remember, most of your nutritional compounds, most of your vitamins, minerals are heat resistant, but most of your vitamins, carotenoids for example, vitamin A for example, vitamin C, are mostly destroyed by heat. And so your dehydration process reduces the nutritional benefits of your food product. In developing countries, sun drying is very popular. No? Why? Because of course, no machine. You make use of the sun, which is available in tropical countries mostly all year round. But there are, of course, differences between the two. When you do dehydration and you do sun drying, of course you can produce dehydrated or dried mangoes using sun drying. You can produce dried fruit products using sun drying. You can produce dried marine products using sun drying. But you can also do the drying using machines, for example, or dehydrated cabinets, for example. But what is the difference? Of course, the process is faster. Kung adlaw ya, what? You just make use of 10 to around 3 or 9 to 3 p.m. na sun. Earlier and after that, hindi na siya mo kainit. Imbis nga mag-dehydrate pa siya, langaw na ang nagkakadto sa iyong food. Or, between the two, which is more hygienic? Dehydration. Because controlled ang imong environment. Actually, sun drying, you can actually make the process hygienic as well. Actually, there are a lot of, we have visited some microprocessors in Guimaras, no? That they have, ano tawag sila, ng screen nga parang drying cabinets, mga solar drying, nga it prevents access of insects and flies to go into your food. But there are some lang gidya nga they said, mas namit gidya kung open air drying. May other flavors that can go contact with your food. Okay. Dehydration not dependent on the weather. Siyempre kung tag-ululan, you cannot do sun drying. Or kung cloudy days, sun drying is not very efficient. But dehydration, aga man or gabi, any time of the day, you can do dehydration. Investment on machinery and processing cost is needed, of course. Sun drying, bilin mo lang maubra ka to anay, pagbalik mo, dry na siya. Or medyo dry na siya. Or after several days, dry na siya. Pero dehydration, hindi pwede. From time to time, you need to check. You need to check, basic. You need to check kung ang temperature mo na-achieve mo na. Ang machine mo, hindi pa siya super. So, there are a lot of things. And of course, investment on the machine. It costs a lot. In terms of quality kaya? Same? Different? Which is better? Dehydration. Because controlled siya process. Controlled na perfect na siya ang technology. And then, faster, more efficient ang drying process. So, mas better nga dehydrated products ang ma-produce niya. But do you know that dehydration can be carried out either by hot or cold methods? Kung sun drying ya, hot lang yun. Siyempre kay sun. But your dehydration can be done by hot dehydration or cold methods, which will be discussed later. For hot dehydration, you use industrial ovens. As big as that. So consists on evaporation of water in a current of hot air or special evaporators. Because a prolonged heating under vacuum may also cause a loss of nutrients, actually the process of concentration can be performed by reverse osmosis or by microwave heating. Different types of heat na pwede gamitin for your hot dehydration. Hot dehydration using industrial ovens can have longer shelf life, of course, significant reduction of volume and weight, and lower transport costs. Siyempre kahit na nag-shrink na siya, so kung i-transport mo siya, mas lower ang weight, mas lower ang transport cost mo. Mas lower ang imong carbon footprint, for example. When we talk about cold temperature dehydration, usually we refer to lyophilization or freeze drying. I'm sure Marielle is familiar with this. Freeze drying can be done in FIC. We just talked about it during the break. So in freeze drying, it's a process by which very different biological materials may be preserved undamaged for extended periods of time. We will see later on, I'll show you pictures of the differences between a dehydrated product using hot methods and using lyophilization or freeze drying. Ang bilin sa iya, 1 to 2% of residual moisture. So dry gid siya. Food regenerated by addition of water. So usually, when we do hot methods of dehydration, we do not expect the food product to be rehydrated. Like you do not expect dried mangoes to become fresh mangoes look alike later on. The application mostly of freeze drying is for food products that needs to be rehydrated after. So if, for example, a classic example would be your vegetable and seafood ingredient in your cup of noodles. Nakita nyo na? When you open Nissin seafood noodles, for example, makita mo on top, may mga very, very small pieces of what looks like carrots, kuno abi, ay kuno ko shrimp na or crab meat, kuno abi, I think it's not really crab meat. Ano pa na siya? Dahon sibuyas, no? What looks like dahon sibuyas. When you pour hot water, after 5 minutes, voila, real carrots. And because it's rehydrate or it's dehydrated using freeze drying. So we compare that. Usually that's the reason for freeze drying because you want to rehydrate them, and rehydration capacity of freeze dried products are way greater compared to rehydration using hot methods. Conservation guaranteed for 3 years. Very long shelf life. Because 1 to 2% lang gani ang iyang residual moisture. But this is not a cheap technology. Very expensive technology. So your treated product is placed in a chamber, which vacuum is produced. So pressure drops in the chamber, temperature also drops. So it operates around -40 to -50 degrees Celsius. It takes a lot of electricity to run. That's why it's very expensive. I was asking Marielle how much does one run costs in FIC. Around 6,000, pero akong student, 4 or 5. My student discount. Because there are some Philippine Science High School students who are asking about the cost of freeze drying. And it's now the trend in terms of dehydrated products. Medyo nag-divert na ta from using hot methods. But hot method of dehydration has its special properties that you cannot copy using, you can copy using freeze drying, but no need for such a high cost technology for that. Dehydrated mangoes, you don't need freeze drying to do that unless you want to use dehydrated mangoes for example, salads later on. I have seen when I went to France 3 years ago for a workshop, they are using dehydrated mangoes, like freeze-dried mangoes, to be used as fresh mangoes in salads. So gina-rehydrate nila. Pag rehydrate nila sa manga, as in mangga gid siya yung fresh. So namig-namig ang pagka-freeze-dried sa iya. I don't know if it came from the Philippines. I will be very proud if it came from the Philippines. I do not know if the product came from the Philippines. Pero sang dry pa lang siya, dehydrated mangoes gid siya, shriveled. But when it was rehydrated, wow, it looks really like fresh mangoes. Oh, very nice. The difference? In terms of moisture content, dehydration removes about 90 to 95% of the moisture content, while freeze drying removes about 98 to 99. Meaning to say way longer ang shelf life. Foods that you dehydrate at your home will typically have around 10% moisture content level. While foods that are dehydrated professionally will have a lower moisture content, which, well, of course, increases shelf life. So that's why freeze-dried versus dehydrated, freeze-dried would have longer shelf life, if you need that long. But if not, and you do not need to rehydrate, why use freeze-drying? You can just use hot method of dehydration. In terms of physical appearance, there you go. That one. Imagine ang freeze-dried nga strawberries would really look like real strawberries after rehydration. Dehydrated strawberries, I doubt you will be able to rehydrate that to its real state. That's bananas. Nutritional content, according to research, freeze-dried foods retain the vast majority of vitamins and minerals found in original food because, of course, of the exclusion of heat. Because cold process siya, cold technology siya, it does not destroy vitamins, which are generally heat sensitive. Dehydration doesn't change the fiber or iron content of the food. However, dehydration can break down vitamins, yes, and minerals during preservation process. Appearance and composition, main difference, appearance and composition. Because really, it's when you rehydrate it, it's very similar to its fresh state, freeze-dried product. The cost is everything. So for SMEs, for MSMEs, freeze-drying is non-option, no option. I mean, no go, because of the very, very high cost. But if you are into exporting, then you can. This is very good if you want to export products that are native to a country. Why? Because you can, for example, you can really give them a glimpse of what the fresh state is, which is really, really nice. Okay. Oh, it's 12 already. So let's have heat treatment after lunch. So let's treat our stomachs first to a healthy lunch before discussing heat treatment. Okay, so unholy hours, especially nga busog, the tendency is to sleep. So for those who are in the academe, we know that it's always a challenge to have classes after lunch, no? When your students are full after having lunch and well, a little bit sleepy. Okay, so I'll try my best to entertain you, not with a dance number, but try to make this topic more interesting. You may wonder why dehydration is not part of heat treatment. When in fact, no, we know that it's heat driven. No, when you are sun drying, no, what makes the commodity dry is the heat of the sun. Diba? But why is it not included under the general term of heat treatment for as a means of food preservation? Any guess? Any good guesses? None? Nalumos na siya sa chop suey. Ano to kanina? Fish fillet. Okay. So, because mainly the mechanism in dehydration is the removal of water, whether by means of heat or by means of freezing, no? But the science there is the removal of water to do preservation. So it's not actually ang center science niya is not on the heat that is being applied, but more so on the removal of the water from the food component that makes it that inhibits the growth of spoilage microorganisms. But when we talk about heat treatment, heat is the main character of the science here. First on the list is very, very simple technology. You always do this at home. You practice this if you want to eat linapuhan. And they say this very, very mild heat treatment retains most of your nutritional compounds in many of your vegetable products. And that is blanching. Blanching. Because remember, even in drying, no, you lose many or almost everything of your vitamins in your food products. But when you are doing blanching, there's heat treatment, but very, very mild and at a minimum time exposure of the heat that enables your cellular components of your food to release those vitamins available for what? Available to humans readily. They say that when you have fresh carrots and blanched carrots, for example, ang tendency is ang ma-consume mo or ma-acquire mo vitamin A from blanched carrots is greater. Because the ones in fresh carrots, the carotenoid compounds present in fresh carrots are incorporated into the cellular components of the fresh carrots. While when you blanch the carrots, you release partly. Nag-ease out ang cellular components. So, nare-release ang compounds faster. So, you absorb a greater portion of your vitamin A there. Okay. But, there are other effects of blanching as a way of food preservation. It slows or stops enzymatic action. So, you actually do this when you also want to prevent browning in your fruits and vegetables. Brightens the color. We have one experiment, when we do this in class to show the effects of blanching, we usually have experiments on the different time temperature combinations of blanching. And you see in one commodity. So for example, if it's malunggay leaves, for example, or kamote tops that you want to show the effects of blanching, you blanch them at different time and temperature combinations, and you see the differences in the colors of the leaves. Of course, the longer and the higher the temperature, the more dull and the more the physical characteristics of the product is hindi na siya good. Pero the correct time and temperature of blanching will give you a brighter color. Why? Because nare-release again the color compounds present in your food products. Helps retard loss of vitamins, soften vegetables, and makes them easier to pack and less susceptible to freezer burn. Okay? Sometimes they also use, by the way, in blanching, sometimes they use that to decrease microbial content of food products. In some cases, prior to processing of meat products, gina-blanch anay nila. So may immediate arrest of the growth of microorganisms because of the effects of heat done through blanching. Pasteurization. Pasteurization is a common preservation technique used for what?
Milk.
Yes. What else? Juices, beverages. So, mostly pasteurization. You probably have heard of sterilization as well. And you have heard sterilized milk. Tama? You might wonder why there's a difference between the two. No? But why is it that some products are just pasteurized, some products are sterilized? Any ideas? Why are some products just pasteurized? Why are some sterilized? Sterilization, which we will discuss later on, employs higher temperatures. Higher temperatures, longer periods of time, which are more, has an effect on the quality of some products. So they lose their color, they lose their flavor, they totally lose their physical characteristics, which you do not want. And so you want to preserve them, however, so you use a milder heat treatment, which is pasteurization. If you try to compare pasteurized milk versus sterilized milk has longer shelf life compared to pasteurized milk. Okay. You can do pasteurization at home, or there are facilities that can do the pasteurization for you. So actually, in some cases, for those who produce jams or jellies, they use the concept of pasteurization to prolong shelf life of jams and jellies. Or for those who are bottling juice at home, if you want to extend the shelf life of your juice, you probably might want to use pasteurization, because you can actually do this at home. It's very around, the temperatures are there. You can have 60 to 65. Kaya na siya sa regular cooking facility. Higher pasteurization temperatures of 70 to 75. Some of your milk undergo FAST or HTST, or high temperature short time. So if you notice, the higher the temperature, the shorter the exposure to, in terms of time, exposure to heat. Okay, so usually applied to liquid food flowing in a thin layer between two metal plates or between a tunnel. So usually sa mga milk, sa mga nag-produce, mga dairy industries, for those who are producing liquid milk products, for example, ang milk, nag-aagi na siya sa stainless steel pipes, and these pipes are lined with electricity, or I don't know how they do that. Engineering might know how it is, but they pass through pipes that produces heat that pasteurizes milk. So as it passes to the tube, or to the metal wires, or sometimes it passes through plates, automatic siya napapasteurize. So pag sagwa niya sa punta niya, it's either Tetra Pak na siya, nakasunod na siya sa Tetra Pak. Or, in some cases, for juices to be pasteurized, they are being hot-filled into, depending on the packaging material, they are hot-filled into PET bottles, for example, depending on the type of PET bottles. So, some very, very thick PET bottles can withstand around 80-something degrees Celsius for pasteurization. I don't know, probably for this one, this is also pasteurized, I would like to believe. And with the quality of the PET, probably around 60-ish to 70-ish degrees Celsius ang pasteurization time niya, pasteurization temperature niya. Okay. So usually, pasteurization is followed by rapid cooling. So the product maintains almost unaltered original quality, but it cannot be stored for a long period of time. That's why between pasteurization and sterilization, if you want to go for longer shelf life, you go for sterilization. However, it has dire effects in terms of quality some product. Especially for milk, if you are drinking milk because of its nutritional content, then you would go for pasteurized milk. Or you go for fresh milk, of course, because it has all the nutritional content. Pero pag na-pasteurize niya, amat-amat na siya, nagabuhin ang iyang nutritional benefits. Sterilized, none. Unless fortified sterilized. Pag fortified sterilized, may in-add na siya nga nutritional benefits there. Hindi na iya inherent sa milk. Why is it that it should be followed by rapid cooling? Any guess? Danger zone. Very good. Yeah, danger zone. Di siya dapat magstay ang food sa danger zone. Because remember, pathogenic microorganisms are mostly mesophilic, meaning they are very fond of multiplying at room temperatures. So we don't want the product to be at a period nga ara sa danger zone wherein microorganisms can grow. That's why rapid cooling siya. From very hot, diretso siya sa very cool. Wala siya opportunity ang microorganisms to produce. To reproduce, I mean. Okay. We go to commercial sterilization. Mostly, commercial sterilization, makita mo ang mga products na nag-undergo commercial sterilization is not liquid in form. Pag liquid in form, mostly pasteurization siya. For commercial sterilization, usually meat products or canned meat products ang nag-undergo sa commercial sterilization. We know beforehand that commercial sterilization originated from the concepts of who? Si Appert. Because commercial sterilization, ang ginhalina niya sina is appertization, which came from Appert. Okay. And for commercial sterilization, usually it's at temperatures of around 100 degrees Celsius, boiling point for water, if the pH of the food is lower than 4.5, meaning say acidic ang food. But if your food is higher than 4.5, ano usually? Ang food nga higher than 4.5, those are meat products. Diba? Hindi na nakita na to sa pH scale nila, or sila sa alkaline side. You would need around 115 to 120 at 20 minutes. How do you achieve 115 at 1 to 120? Remember, the boiling point of water is 100. Bisan sige pong pa na siya nga pabukal, hindi na siya mag-go beyond 100. So how do you go beyond it? How do you go to 115 and 120? Pressure. Okay, so you put in pressure to increase the temperature. So mostly canned food would be at 115 to 120 depending on the commodity, and they heat it around 20 minutes. If you have an opportunity to visit ang produce ang hams and holiday canned goods, they have commercial scale, of course, production scale retorts producing canned goods that operate at these temperatures. I will show you later on examples of canning facilities. So heat treatment of such products must be intensive enough to inactivate the most heat-resistant bacterial microorganism, which is Clostridium botulinum. Actually, ang basis for the computation of how long and how long the sterilization process and how high the temperature is computed based on the life of Clostridium botulinum. This is a subject when you are taking food technology. We compute mathematically on how you will achieve the time and temperature combination that will be undergone by your specific food product if it's being canned, in order to make sure that you eliminate Clostridium botulinum. Because among the pathogens, Clostridium botulinum is capable of living beyond very, very high temperatures. So siya ang target microorganism. In industries, wala na sila nag-compute. Of course, because the students, they should learn the hard way. Hindi may nangangagpabulayan sila. But we do the math of it in order to understand how it is being done. But when you are working in the industry, computers na lang nag-do the math for you to give you the time and temperature combination for this specific product. Usually, apart from the time and temperature combination, they also study the effect of the temperature on the food. Hindi pwedeng pag meat product siya, hindi pwedeng ang time and temperature combination mo for meat product is the same sa time and temperature combination mo for sterilization sa green peas, for example, na gusto mo man i-sterilize. Why? Because it might be, pagwa sa imong canned green peas, hindi na siya peas. Puree na siya. So, because remember, heat has very, very dire effects on the quality of the food product. So, ginastadihan kung at what time and temperature can you have that can kill microorganisms or pathogenic microorganisms or Clostridium botulinum, but as well as retain the quality of your food product. So it's a combination between these two. But of course, between quality and safety, you go for safety first. Diba? Di bali ng mashi, basta wala may mapatay. So, always the aim of food manufacturers should be safety first before quality. Never sacrifice. Pwede ka pang mag-sacrifice gamay for quality, but never for safety. These are examples of autoclaving machines that are being used for sterilization or for commercial sterilization of canned products. Usually, vertical autoclaves. These are usually being used mga laboratory scale yung production. Or sometimes in the study of kung gusto mo lang i-test out ang imong time and temperature combination in the lab. But when you are producing commercially, usually ang autoclave or retort nila is horizontal. They have racks of where you have your canned goods and then di gina-push lang nilang rack sa labang nga tube, which is already your retort machine. Okay, there you go. So you have these temperatures, you have ultra high, 140 to 150. You also have direct UHT, 140 to 150. Again, nga may mga changes. Pwede nga same meat product, pero nga alain ang different ang time and temperature combination niya. It might have something to do as well with the packaging of the product. So, for example, this orange juice, if packaged on PET, will have a different time and temperature combination for pasteurization if it's packaged on a Tetra Pak. Pero same lang sila nga raw material. Or same lang sila na formulations ng juice. Pero iniyang isa, i-package siya sa PET bottle. Ang isa yung Tetra Pak, they will have a different time and temperature combination in terms of pasteurization. Okay. The difference between the two, function, pasteurization, partial destruction of microorganisms. That's why shorter ang iyang shelf life. Complete destruction ang sterilization. Temperature, usually if you talk about pasteurization, that's below the boiling point of water. And mostly for pasteurized products, nag-play lang na siya around 60-ish to high na gani ang 80 plus degrees Celsius. While for sterilization, beyond 100 degrees Celsius. Advantage, well, pasteurization, because lower ang temperatures, minimal ang destruction sa quality ng product. For sterilization, longer shelf life siya, no other preservation needed sometimes, although nag-a-add gapon ang food manufacturers. But, ang effect niya on the quality of the products really great. Disadvantage, well, some of the products get overcooked. There are a lot of changes in terms of texture, flavor, and nutritional quality. Okay? Questions so far? Yes? Questions? No? So shall we proceed to low temperature preservation? Okay. So your low temperature preservation is responsible for your frozen products. Mostly, well, meat products, some of them frozen, yes. And desserts. Okay. So an example of a moderate low temperature food preservation is refrigeration, which is what we usually practice every day in our homes. Pag may fresh produce na ginbakal, diretso sa ref. Pag may sobrang asutan, diretso sa ref. Pag may bilin ang saging, kung nga lang nakaon, diretso sa ref. Panan, diretso sa ref. Diba? Yes. And it's not part of food preservation per se, but it was like to because I'm an advocate of food packaging. My passion really in teaching sa college years is I enjoy more on the food packaging side. May common kita nga practice which is very, very bad. We usually use ice cream canisters. Reuse them for what? Storing sudan, right? Leftovers. We use leftovers, gina-heat up naton siya, isa gani wala gid, di ba? Ang mabilin-bilin nga sudan ginabutang sa ice cream tub, ginabutang sa ref. Right? Anong purpose ng ice cream tub gani? Purpose niya is for ice cream. It was made for cold products. Pag you put sudan, sometimes warm siya, di ba? Kisa, init pa ang sudan, ginabutang tan. Kaya kung kisa, hindi lang siya for storing ang gamit sa ice cream canister. Ginagamit siya as bowl for sudan sa table. Tama? No. And very hot pa siya. Mind you, if you're familiar with the migration of plasticizers present in plastic or harmful chemical compounds present in plastic, migration from plastic to food. There is migration occurring here as we speak. As we are watching this bottle, there is migration occurring between the PET bottle to the juice. What drives the migration? Acidity, fat, temperatures. If you put this under the sun, the migration is greater because it's plastic. And if you try to take a look, there are different types of plastic. Take a look, may numbers sa that, would refer to the different types of plastic. And the ice cream canister is specifically made for ice cream, which is a frozen product. Pag inbutangan mo siya sang sudan nga init, because it was made for cold, grabe ang migration. Because it's not a plastic made for sudan. It's a plastic made for ice cream. And so if you put hot food in there, you generate a lot of migration from the plastic to the food. And nagareklamo kita nga gakos siya cancer. Gali kay kita ang may sala. Hindi siya para sa food. Cold, hindi siya para sa hot food, para siya sa cold nga food. Okay? So, a tip, please. And then, you actually do not help in the recyclability. Nga plastics can only be recycled if ang use niya is, it has been used for its intended use. Pag na-contaminate na siya sa other components of food, for example, may fat na siya, kaya subutan mo na siya sudan, hindi na siya magiging pure ang niyang na plastic. Na-contaminate mo na siya. So, hindi na siya recyclable kung ibutang mo siya sa recycling facility. Sa imo yung sa thinking, na-recycle mo siya because nangitaan mo siya sa another use. Okay? So, I'm an advocate of please do not use plastics for other purposes. So, for example, do not use this one as your water bottle later. Butahan mo siya tubig. So, pila na kabulan ang ini siya. Imagine, na-recycle ko siya. Pila ko na siya kabulan yung gingamit na ginasudlan ko siya pero may tubig. Remember, this was already exposed to acid. So, may migration na siya. Okay. What is the most perfect, well, for me, based on studies, the perfect packaging would be always glass. But then because it's very heavy, cost, and everything, transportation cost, manufacturing cost, we cannot avoid using plastics anymore. So what we need to do is just be responsible for the recyclability of the plastic. Anyway, going back to refrigeration. Slows down biological, chemical, and physical reactions that shorten the shelf life of food. Slow down lang siya, but it does not inhibit spoilage. Meaning to say, hindi na siya forever ang imong half piece of banana sa imong refrigerator. Or hindi na siya forever ang imong sudan. It will eventually spoil. And the more food that is present in the refrigerator, mas dasig sila mag-spoil. Why? Nag-lower ang imong temperature sa sulod. 0 to 4 siya tuod, pero damo na nag-share sa imong 0 to 4. Refrigeration temperatures usually should range from -1 to 8 degrees Celsius. But normal refrigerators in households, if you take a look, if you're just curious, you get a thermometer, you put it, if your thermometer is capable of getting lower temperatures, you will see nga ang normal household refrigerators positive 15 degrees Celsius. Because nagaka-overwork siya kay puno-puno. So, ang imo nga gauge ara siya sa 4 degrees Celsius, pero ang actual niya luwas pa sa open